Hello everybody, welcome back to PadFootTD Games. My name is Zach, I'm the voice behind the icon, and today we are back once again in Virtual Sailor Next Generation, once again with the beautiful Disney Wonder. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is currently 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30? Just before 7:30, and we are making our way into Honolulu. We've traveled about 250 miles last night. Just about, because we came out, we did some swallows, and then we brought ourselves into Honolulu. There's a couple storm systems popping up. Wanted it to be as smooth as possible. But as you can see, as we come into Honolulu, excuse me, going in the port of entry here, and we'll be actually docking right here. Nice in and out. When we come for our, what's the word I'm looking for? When we go for Hawaii, our main turnaround day will be, I can't remember if it's docked here or here. I think it's over here. It's by the bell tower. Not at the main terminal, at least what I'm used to. But it looks like it's going to be, yet again, a beautiful day here down in Hawaii. I'm actually really surprised. We'll probably have a passing shower later on, but you can't beat these views as we get ready to load in the scenery as we get closer. I hit a button so I could walk forward, but gotta love it. I hope you guys are having a good day. I know that I am. I'm filming this over what would be considered our Christmas break. Taking a little bit of R&R to try to heal my back as much as I possibly can before my ankle surgery. All right. Feel free to skip ahead when I'm talking about boat stuff again and talking about Honolulu if you don't want to hear this story. My story is how I broke my back. I know, I've left it to episode, 6 or 5? Let's see. Leaving, day of sea, in, out. Yeah, day 5 to episode 5. How I broke my back. So feel free to skip forward if you don't want to hear it. You can just mute it for a bit if you want. I'll watch the ship go in. It'll be some beautiful sights. But let's chit-chat about that, shall we? For those of you who know, I have been building my wife and my dream house, I guess you could say, by myself. I've had my dad, my mom, and Danielle obviously there. The only thing we've had other people do is pour the foundation, dig the foundation, and yeah, that's it. He's going to do the driveway too. But besides that, everything's been done ourselves. Logs, wood, framing, floor, everything. Just save money. We were doing very well. I was fighting against winter to try to get the roof on, at least the plywood on the roof. I was finally working on the last dormer. It's 2 days before Thanksgiving. I'm putting Tyvek around the outside, and I could start putting the roof on right after that. It was a good day. My mom was there giving a hand. Dad was there, obviously, giving me a hand. Right around 1 o'clock, the Tyvek, I'd gone from the inside and wrapped over. Of course, this is in our loft area, so I can't just step out the window like I was on the other side of this project. I was putting Tyvek on the outside of the dormer itself on the roof side, and I misstepped, and the Tyvek, which is this plastic wrap, went underneath my foot, which caused me to fall. As I fell, I landed onto the roof on my chest and stomach. Now this is a 12/8 roof, for anybody who knows roofing, so it's pretty steep. I slid down the roof, fell off, went through a 2x4 that was holding the porch in place, like the porch logs that we have up there. Went crashing through that, and then hit the deck of the house, which is obviously pressure treated wood and hard. All I remember is that I remember it all, unfortunately. The slip, the impact, the fall that felt forever, and then the pain in my back. Sorry, I got a little bit of PTSD that's with it, but I need to be able to tell this story. Excuse me. And I knew that I was alive, and I knew that I could feel my fingers and my toes. I was in an incredible amount of pain, had a hard time breathing. I just remember screaming out in pain. Of course, my parents were there. My mom comes out and asks if I should call an ambulance, and I'm like, no, let me just see what's going on first. And I knew there was no way I was going to get off that porch because it's a construction zone. There was just no way, and I was in so much pain. I said, okay, at least call the ambulance. And By the time the ambulance got there and they put the C-collar on me, I went, okay, I'm actually going to go with them. So they got me wrapped up in a C-collar on a backboard, had to wait for more hands, slid me through the porch, slid me off of the porch onto a gurney. Of course, we're in a construction zone, so everything's just everywhere. And got me in the ambulance. The ambulance had to wait for the paramedic because these were only EMTs. He showed up because it's trauma. We were then off to the hospital, Hidden Mickey. There's supposed to be a Hidden Mickey down here, and I realized that it's not there, and it actually is bugging me. Went to the hospital, got there about 2:22 p.m. There was a clock above me, that's how I know. Did all the tests that you could possibly think of. Finally got my pain under control. And, at 2:30 a.m. I was finally able to leave. Yep, 2:30 a.m. Sorry, just smashed into my microphone here. Come here. Microphone, come here. Thank you. Not you, Ella. It's okay. So it turns out that I have a compressed fracture on my T12 vertebrae. I have a bunch of bruising. Obviously, I have a swollen sternum, which is actually almost gone now. I'm recording this on the 21st of December. That was something that was sitting there for a long time. So overall, the recovery is going to be long and sucky, but that is how I broke my back. I don't recommend it to anybody. Just saying. Alright, let's shoot for... That is our next waypoint. So, let me zoom in with my handy-dandy binoculars here. We'll be going right in this area and docking right here. Right in front of this container ship. And then when we're here for the repositioning cruise, we'll be going right there. But yes, welcome to Honolulu on the island of Kauai. Nope. I did this before too. And it's because my brain's like, oh yeah, you know what you're talking about. And then it's like, hey, just as a reminder, you have no idea. Shut up. It's Honolulu on the island of Oahu. Can't believe that I messed that up. Dang white people. I shouldn't even be saying that. Get course a little bit more that way. But yeah, so let's talk about Honolulu. I knew that I'd have a lot to talk about, so we'll have some stuff to talk about as we go in. And just enjoying this beautiful view coming into Honolulu for 8:30 a.m. local time. We are now, 4 hours different than our original leaving point? I think that's what it was, because it was 4, 5, 6, 7. Because it was 7 to go all the way to home time. On the other side of the world. Now, you thought going from Vancouver to Hawaii was long. Wait for us to go from Hawaii to Australia being long. That's a long trip. That's a lot of days at sea, but very excited to go to Australia altogether. But I'm so happy to see Honolulu again. Alani Resort is down and around and that way. The airport is right here. And Pearl Harbor is over in this general direction. It's over here. Let's talk about Honolulu and that experience. So again, you can always check out Ella the Hearing Alert Service Dog's Hawaiian Adventure if you want to see some more in-depth of what that trip was like to travel with a service dog. But, excuse me, what I can tell you is we arrived there after flying straight from Boston at like 6 a.m. We then flew to Los Angeles. Went from Los Angeles to Honolulu. We got there about like 1 o'clock local time, which to us was 8 p.m. after being up since like 3 a.m. Yeah, that sucked. So to add on to the suckage, we literally had to then take Ella to immigration, and she had to be looked at. She had to be examined for any foreign pests or anything like that. And they took her away from me to be able to do the exam. And I was like, she's not going to like that. You really shouldn't separate a service dog from its handler regardless. They are really trained to stay with you, which they learned. They're like, well, she's really not letting us, check her for mites. They're looking for mites in her feet. And I said, if I'm there with you, she will. And she did. She wasn't trying to bite them or anything. She was not happy. And I'm like, yeah, duh. She passed the flying colors, all healthy. That was like one of the big worries that we were, because if we weren't, she was going to have to be detained there and shipped back to the continental United States, which would have opened up a whole other world of crap. Okay, so we're here in Honolulu. We're staying at a Lani Resort. You know, it's the only time we're ever going to be able to do that. And so we're staying there, and we're like, okay, what can we do? Well, this is the one and only time we're going to be here. Take out all the debt we possibly can. We originally planned this before we were planning to build a house. And let's do everything that we wanted to do. So on the very first day, I remember we woke up from Alani Resort, went to Denny's, then we went to Pearl Harbor for the day. That was amazing. We got to go out and see the Arizona, which is a very humbling piece of history, in my personal opinion, just because the tragedy, you know, and to be able to see it sitting there still. And then to also see the battleship Missouri we went on board. That was amazing. And just Pearl Harbor and learning about it and just being in the environment was amazing. So the problem is we're also in masks, okay? We are in 2022, but we are still required, because we were traveling to Canada on this voyage, to take a COVID test before. And we needed to make sure that we stayed COVID-free, or we were not going to be able to get on this ship to be able to go home. Yeah, horrible amount of stress the whole entire time we were there. So, yep, we do so. You know, we enjoy, you know, Pearl Harbor itself. We got Ella her dog food. We actually had one reserved on the island, so we didn't have to fly out, you know, 2 weeks worth of food. The next day we went to, I want to get the name right, even though I am not going to pronounce it right, Kualoa Ranch, also known as Jurassic Valley. It's where they filmed Jurassic Park, they filmed King Kong, they filmed one of the Godzillas there. Every movie that looks like, oh wow, that's some beautiful scenery, it's probably this resort, and it was amazing. We got to learn so much. There were still set pieces there, like the Indominus Rex's pen from Jurassic World. It was like a dream come true to me. I loved Jurassic Park. I loved learning this kind of stuff. So we got to do that on day 2. We barely ever actually enjoyed the Alani Resort, because again, it was just like, okay, well, it's a hotel and there's a pool. Good job. Like, that was it. And it was like, okay. And there were so many other things that we wanted to explore. So those were the 2 days after arrival. Then the very next day, after that, we got onto Disney Wonder. Worst time waiting for a COVID test result ever. I remember that very, very vividly. Why? Why do you show up? I don't care that the desktop is no longer available. It's right here. It's definitely available. But yeah, so again, I'd love to be able to sit here and be like anybody else who's privileged and be able to say, oh yeah, you definitely got to do this. I know that some people will never be able to do it. I know how lucky I was to be able to go to Hawaii. And I want to go again. This is a place that touched my heart in a completely different way. I would never move here. I don't think the land can ever belong to anybody from the United States. Which is just sad, because like Honolulu itself, you know, the actual city portion of it, many more skyscrapers than you see here, just is so overrun with these giant buildings and everything, and it just takes a lot of the natural beauty away. That's why if you go onto the backside of the island, there's a couple little patches, but it's so much more real out there. Again, the neighborhoods get very packed very quickly. We took a little drive around just to see what it was like. But it's one of those things where it touched me in a different way, because I've been lucky enough to see the Caribbean, the Bahamas, Mexico, Alaska, Europe, and nothing touched me like this one. Alright, I got a phone call really quick. I'll be right back. Alright, back. When the missus calls, you pick up. Alright, Bess. When mommy calls, we pick up. Now I got all the dog's attention. Alright, so, as I was saying, an amazing journey touched me in a way that I can't even necessarily explain, because, again, it's an island. The island, the culture, the mythology, the legends, everything. Everything about it it hit different. And it was thanks to the people that we actually had. Big shout out to Kualoa Ranch. Jurassic Valley Ranch. Shout out to Leiloa. She was our guide when we were out there and driving us around. We were on a bus full of people. And not a bus, I guess we were in more of a truck kind of thing. But she made that experience memorable. I remember I never asked people for this, but I asked for a picture of her and Ella. Of course, Ella's the star of the ship, of everything. So, I don't know. It was amazing. And I really look forward to being able to do that again, and very hopeful that I do get to do it again. And it'll be very transparent. Again, I am very lucky to do what I do. I'm very lucky to be able to have the things that I have in life, that I've been able to do in life. And I understand that. And I look forward to doing it again. I was actually just talking with my mom this morning because we were originally going to do a Carnival cruise next year. We think we're going to switch it up and attempt to do a Disney Wish, a very short cruise, trying to go on the cheaper end. Obviously, it's Disney, so it's not super cheap. Thank you for letting me know that the desktop is back available for streaming. Great. I hate this crap so much. But, so we were talking about that, and we're like, okay, let's switch it up. But, if we're really going to do a Carnival cruise again, I don't really want to go to the Caribbean. You've been to one island in the Caribbean. You've been to them all. There's a couple exceptions here and there. Same thing with the Bahamas, and same thing with, Mexico. They're all the same with their own special, something. There's always something special. So what we were talking about is Carnival actually has a cruise that goes from Los Angeles to Hawaii and back. Now, I always told myself I would never, ever, ever fly back to Hawaii. I would ship there, spend some time, and ship back. It was so hard to get out there. Danielle brought up the fun thing of, okay, fine, when we're old and retired and we have money, we'll fly out to LA, we'll do Disneyland and Universal for a couple days, then we'll fly out. It'll feel just like it. I was like, that's fair. So they got one on from San Francisco, one from Seattle. I didn't know that, actually. One from Los Angeles. They have actually a couple that you can go to and from. So I'm actually going to have to look at this now because that'll be cool. But that's a later thing. Oh, my back hurts. Thank you guys for sticking this long and listening to me rabble. I've seen somebody before that says, I put on your video, but I don't want to listen to you talk, so I mute you. Great. You're still watching the content. That's all that I care. All right, we're down to about 9 knots. Let's head down to the bridge. That's so funny on how different that lays up. All right, let's get ourselves a little bit more. We don't need as drastic of a turn. Be watching it on this side. And let's bring it down. Let's bring it down to about 8 knots as we start going through the harbor. 8 to 5, I think. All I know is that when we left Honolulu, we were originally supposed to leave at 5. We didn't because we needed to take on extra fuel because we were going back to Vancouver and you wanted to make sure that we had enough. And there was an issue delivering the fuel because it was delivered via 18-wheeler versus barge. I don't know why on that one. But we had to wait until 10 p.m., which is, ironically, our departure this evening. Yeah, plenty of time. We'll get docked around 8, clearance by 8:15. We had an 8:30 all ashore. Yeah, we're good. But it just makes me smile because I've been here, I've seen it, I lived it, and we're back here. Ever since I got Virtual Sailor and I had the original Disney Wonder that started this series, the more blocky one that was made by Rob's, that was the first thing I did. I sailed from Seattle to Hawaii And once I was at Hawaii, I docked myself and I went around the islands because that was, one, very fresh in my brain, and two, I had such like the most special place in my heart because we had just done that trip. It meant a lot to me, and it, you know, it kind of became one of those realities, you know, while we were building our house right now, that this could be the last big project that I end up doing with my parents. Which sucks to think about, and I don't think anybody should think like that, but it is a reality. Unfortunately. Alright. So we're coming up here. We are going to dock right there. Like I said, nice and easy, and an easy pull out too. Literally pull away from the dock, kick the butt over there, pouring ourselves out, and off we go. So that should work out nicely. Tomorrow we are going to be going to Kauai, which I'm very excited about. That's Nawiliwili. We're going to be there for a day. I was there for 2 days before we came back. And then we're going to Maui, which I'm also excited about because Maui, I got to stand on top of the world, and it's the best picture I've ever taken of Ella. At the top of the world. And then back to Honolulu before we head off to Australia. So we got a busy schedule here over the next couple days. Next couple weeks, actually, because the trip going to Australia, I think it's like 14 or 15 days, maybe 16 days. It's a long one. I always said if we had tons and tons of money, and of course if I didn't have Ella, because there's no way she could do it that long, or we could board our horses and dogs that long, would be to take the cruise here from Vancouver and then from here to Australia. I don't even want to take the Australian flight, man. That would be murder. Alright, I'm going to kick a little bit in reverse because we are getting dockside and we're going a little bit faster than I'd like to. Thought we'd kill off some more speed as we came in, but as I say, we don't have that much of a wind, so it is what it is. Airport's right there. Pearl Harbor is right here, which they actually have modeled here. Huh. We may go and see that. It's very interesting. Yep, I definitely think we're going to go take a look at that. But beautiful Hawaii, beautiful Honolulu. That's one of the things I can say. I've been to other big cities here. I've been to Chicago. I've been to Boston. I've been to New York. Been to Miami. Been to Orlando. Been to Los Angeles. Been to San Diego. Seattle. No place made me feel safer than Honolulu, except maybe Vancouver. Never did we have anybody rude on the street. Never did we have a rude interaction with anybody. We didn't ever have anybody screaming about Ella on this trip. It was perfection. I wanted to look over here because there's the clock tower. It just doesn't look like it's big enough for us to fit. Maybe we won't fit all the way. But I know that's where the Disney Wonder was for the departure from Honolulu. Looking beautiful, looking grand. I can only imagine what this ship looks like coming in. Gotta be beautiful. So yeah, it's going to be right up here. It was in this building here. It's a little bit classier than this and was actually dockside, but what can you ask for when you have a sim? You gotta give and take, I guess. Excuse me. So sorry. Not sleeping the best. One of the coolest things, let me pop over here really quick, because while we were sitting here on the back of the ship, once we did our COVID test, and we were sitting there waiting for ourselves to leave, since the airport's right here, we were able to see a couple planes take off. That's always like one of my big things. I love to watch planes take off. Planes, trains, and automobiles and boats. That's what this channel's made out of. I realize I gotta get back into flight sim as well, but I assume that there's like 600 gigabytes of things that I need to update, so I'm trying to stay away from that for now. We are looking good. We are looking grand. Excuse me. Also ready for a nap. Unrelated. Let's see. Going at 3 knots is feeling pretty good, to be honest. Shoot the aft over just a smidge. Looking good, looking good. We are the only ship in today, so we've got a pretty lenient. It's probably going to be up at this bollard right here. I'll check when we get out. Again, that's the lack of benefit of not being able to have a pilot right here. I have no idea. I'm just making the assumption of I know where I need to go, and I don't know the waters. Turn that back to being straight, and I'm gonna put on a little bit of thruster for us to kind of drift over. Traveling about 2 knots right now. It's enough of a push for now. Keep on just kind of drifting with the motion of the ocean. I'm gonna put you on 8 should be good. Just kind of kick that stern around. Again, I wish we didn't drift as much, but what are you gonna do? We're at 2 knots now. Not that much. You know, I know I can actually adjust the horsepower of the thrusters, so we should probably work on that at some point. One of the ships that I have access to feels more realistic because, again, 8% is cooking. Like, giving me way too much power. It's going to be this one or this one, but I think, if I remember properly... Thanks, Ella. She just ran into the microphone and started taking it with her. If I remember properly, it gets a little shallow up front, so I might make it just these 2 right here and call it a day. Yeah, that should be okay. We're down to 1 knot. I'm going to give it just a little push just to keep it kind of going. Again, a nice slow arrival. Not even 8 o'clock yet. We are ahead of schedule. I always kind of misjudge on how long it's actually going to take to do some of these things. I know I can measure it out and do stuff like that. But, hey, if you got the dock space and you're not busy and I can get in early, I'd rather get everybody off early, which I know doesn't work in the real world. I know. Thank you for the reminder that we're in a simulator and not the real world. Appreciate that. Oh, boy. So, yeah, a pretty big turnaround day for us here. Obviously, we don't have any passengers disembarking fully unless they choose to. But we are going to be loading on a bunch of supplies today, and we'll be loading on a bunch of supplies in, 3 days when we're back here? Yep, there's the soft spot. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I know we're still drifting a little forward. Tell you what, I'll take that off because I know it's going to start getting sandy there, so we'll keep on watching. We'll watch the stern kind of slide over. Problem is I don't want to be fully using the stern, but if I don't push, it won't come over. It's a weird interaction where if I had it like at 8, it would actually stop pushing on the barrier. I just saw that we were drifting, so I'm just gonna go to correct that really quick. Okay, we're at 0, static 0. 12 to keep both going at the same. Kill them. This might be as close as it's going to allow us to get. And you do your thing. Bam. Drop the lines. Drop the lines. Drop the lines. Drop the lines. How does she look? She looks great. I wish we were much further forward, but overall I can't complain. All our lines on the dock and not in the water? Of course not. Oh, you're not going to let me grab you? Thank you. At least make it look like you're over there. Alright, well there you have it, everybody. We are here in Honolulu, looking beautiful, looking fantastic. And that's where we're going to end this video. Hope you guys enjoy your stay. Oh, actually, I can't stop the video yet. What am I talking about? Get back inside.
This is the duty officer speaking from the bridge. We'll be sounding our ship's horn from the forward funnel. For those of you on the open decks at this time, you may want to cover your ears. Again, we'll be sounding our ship's horn from the forward funnel. And for those of you that are on the open decks at this time, you may want to cover your ears. Thank you for your attention.
And that is our official welcome here to the beautiful island of Honolulu. We're going to give a stateroom announcement here in just a second to let everybody know that we have arrived here in Honolulu, let them know the weather, as well as letting them know the all-aboard time this evening. The all-aboard time is 9:30. We are hoping to be out of here by 10. At 9:45, I think it's a 15-minute window that they kind of have. So let's make said announcement and let's get them on their way and get them off the ship. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is your captain speaking from the bridge. Welcome and good morning from Honolulu. We pulled alongside about 8 a.m. this morning and we're docked here at Pier D here in downtown Honolulu. We're just waiting for the local authorities to give us clearance to go ashore. I just want to give a friendly reminder as you enjoy your wonderful day here in Honolulu that all aboard time is 9:45 p.m. this evening. Make sure that you've set your clocks exactly the way they should. It is currently 8 a.m. You want to make sure that you are back on board at 9:45 a.m. before we head off to Kauai. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and we can't wait to see you back on the ship this evening. Bye-bye. Alright, that one was better. I don't know where the bye-bye's coming from. I think I've done too much YouTube, I guess. But, yep, here we are. We have given them the okay to go ashore, at least here shortly they will. Let me pop outside. I can't get over this view. Look at that. Love it. Alright, lots of loading, lots of unloading. Yeah, I guess we can fit there. I mean, kind of. Like, the butt's gonna stick out of the ship. Oh well, I guess that's our home when we come back before we head off to Australia. But that's going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed, we do try to get a video out here on the channel every single day, and we really do appreciate your continued support. But with that, I thank you guys so much for coming out to this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.